What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a special episode of Tournament Tactics, where we're taking a look at the Christmas Day 2-game banger. We got the ugly Christmas sweaters going. It's me and Bobby 2 times. Got to get the millions. Breaking it down for you guys. And exciting slate here. No ownerships as of yet. It's Tuesday morning. We're trying to get this done. Everybody got shit to do. So
look, Santa hasn't come yet. That's okay.
What's that?
I said Santa hasn't come yet. That's okay.
Yeah, he's coming. Well, Santa, we're gonna cause him to come to the house and deliver us all this money for the wins here on these games. So 2-game banger. We got the Chiefs at the Steelers, 44-point total. Chiefs are favored here. And then we got the Ravens at Houston. That one's a 46.5-pointer. Ravens heavy favorites in that one, Bobbywow. And one of the things I was like mental noting from the last one of these that we did, though we got 2-game slates all the time now, and I love it. There are some approaches that you have to use for these to be successful. But one thing I've been thinking about was, we normally favor favored running backs. All right. And it seems like, how we played Mixon last week heavily? He was like super chalk.
Yep.
But he was an underdog. And it was like, why do we play so much Mixon as an underdog? Why am I at 60, 70%? I would never play that much of him in our main slate. So we have to, so what I was thinking about after the last one, just a reminder to remind ourselves that we do have to look at these players somewhat in the lens of, even if there were 5 games, how excited would I be about this guy? So as we're breaking it down, I do want to kind of keep that in mind a little bit. Also, reminder that there's more games. There's so many games. The slates all over the place. Slates are coming and going. They never stop. Boom. You think it's done on Wednesday? Blam. Thursday Night Football shows up. Then you're like, all right, let me chill till Sunday. Nope. 3-gamer on Saturday. NFL has just tell your family. I know it's Christmas. Everybody tell your family, listen, I'm going to need some time this week to focus on my gambling. Okay? Listen, it is what it is. They'll totally understand that is what mom or dad needs to be doing. 'Tis the season. Or let's get our lineups done and built, at night or something, so you can just chill with your family and have some fun. We had a really, really good slate on Monday, by the way. I hope everybody who was watching the show just did what we said. The onslaught. The absolute destruction. It was glorious. I felt like Nostradamus making predictions. I felt like that was like quatrains by Nostradamus on Monday.
It's frustrating because for me in tournaments, I had to fade Jacobs a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But he didn't put up like a crazy big score. It's just nobody else scored.
It was more than enough. It was more than enough. But that's what it was always going to be. That was like, we searched it. I was like, there's no other way to go here.
And that's kind of what we talked about was, is 20 enough, right? We talked about that question over and over. Is 20 enough? And you said yes, and it was.
Yeah. All right, so let's see if we could figure out what's enough for this 2-gamer. Again, 2-game slate, couple notes. If you're gonna run tournaments for this, if you're gonna run mass multi-entry on the optimizer, I'm just gonna say this as back testing has shown me this for many, many years in multiple slates, that you almost never want to be over 50% on any player. And if you do it, you better be damn sure. As chalky as it might be. So we're going to get into this breakdown here. And if those kind of players pop up, we'll talk about it. So at quarterback for this one, Bobbywow, the favored quarterback, of course, Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Lamar is the man. We all know this. Actually, I'm not going to look at it through this. I'm going to look at it through the DraftKings screen so we can see logs as well. And actually, I can enlarge the screen. So Lamar Jackson smashes, he's been the best quarterback of the year. Him and Josh Allen are in competition for who's the GOAT of the season. Now he gets Houston. Houston, kind of a struggling team, but I don't know. It might be a turnaround spot. I keep thinking they're going to turn it around. The only question here for me is, once again, you've got Derrick Henry, Lamar. Derrick Henry and Lamar both got there, Bobbywow, in the last 2 game slate.
Yep.
They both did fine. Actually, no, I'm going to say Derrick Henry did even. It was just last week. Lamar got the 21. I'm not sure if he was the nut call.
That I think that was a little bit different because we had no options on that slate. This slate, we actually have more than 2 legitimate options.
Yeah.
So it should be a little different here. We'll see.
Yeah. There aren't that many legit running back options, by the way, but there are. Now, noteworthy, it was that Justice Hill was knocked out of the game last week. Let me just take a look here real quick. Questionable tag. I want to mention what to do. He's not going to play. This guy has a concussion. I'm going to push Justice Hill aside, and I'm going to tell you he's not going to play, which does give us Keaton Mitchell as a very interesting potential backup running back on the slate, or if you just want to look at it, another 4K player who is legitimately in the discussion. So let's keep that in mind. But I also think it's more likely that Derrick Henry will get more work in this one than he normally would with Justice Hill out. So Derrick Henry, absolute smash situation. The second game, we've got, on the other side of this game is CJ Stroud. Stroud has been disappointing, Bobby.
Yes, he has. Yeah, and I've played him. Yeah, I'll just say this too. Chat's all over it.
Ali. What's this about Ali?
Rasheen Ali is actually over Keaton Mitchell.
Really?
He's been getting snaps. Yep, he's been getting the RB3 snaps, and he's there on the depth chart as well. They drafted him this season out of Marshall. I think he'll ultimately be the backup guy, but
you think it'll be him? All right. Well, that makes it complicated. That adds some complexity. Everybody's yelling Ali. All right, so there it is. Damn. Well, good to know. See the chat. By the way, I just want to. Was it last night's slate? The running back that scored, Brown? Brooks. That was another thing. Fucking great call. Getting off of that other running back and onto Brooks, where it was everybody. Like the general consensus was that it was the other backup running back for the Packers, and then it was Brooks. So that was a great call by you. People ignoring that call. That was an awesome call. That was like the call of the slate. If you just combine that with my just onslaught this shit Packers, you took the tournament down maybe.
I think, yeah, we have a sharp chat too, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed, and it's gotten sharper.
No, I love it.
It's so good.
But this is participation, guys. DFS Army, our crew here, same deal. Like we have people in Baltimore. Like we want the locals to feed us that information locally. If anybody's on Twitter or any of that, you're seeing info, pass it along. That's how we do it. We're all here to help each other out and try to win together. So with this being said, all right, so Mahomes one side of Lamar one side of that game, Stroud the other side. Now, the thing that's in Stroud's favor, Bobby, is like this Baltimore matchup's been pretty good for quarterbacks. And he's at home. Like this should be the Stroud game. This is it. Now or never. What are we doing with Deontay cheat code now on this team? Is he even a player pool? They picked up Deontay Johnson not. To be clear, they picked up Deontay Johnson on waivers.
I don't think he's going to play, is he?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. This is one of those things that I don't know how to I don't know how to do this. Savage, I will do a separate stream for setting up the Dom station for this tonight. I'll get gummed up and do that, but I'll do that later tonight. I can't play Deontay. I refuse, even if he's active. I'm not. No. What are we doing here? So it's going to be John Mechie. That does work. So I just want to say one thing again. I will do a straight stream, but if you're not going to be there for the stream, and if you're running the Domination Station Optimizer, I'll give my baseline is very, very simple for a 2-game slate, 50% max exposure across the board. And you want to allow at least 2 and maybe 3 players versus the opposing defense. Allow yourself to have whatever defense. Don't let the defense dictate your players. Beyond that, we'll get into it in a separate stream. But Deontay, no go for you. If we're not comfortable with Deontay, then John Mechie, like we have to figure out Mechie or whoever else.
Xavier Hutchinson would be the other guy.
Yeah, Mechie, Hutchinson. Yeah, so that's your third. And so it's going to be an interesting. I think we get a really cheap Mechie here. That's going to be a popular play.
So Mechie set out last week, right? I want to say he didn't play at all.
Got targets. No, got 2 targets. Week 15. We're in week 17. So yeah, what the hell happened last week?
I want to say he sat out because he was. Let's see. Yeah, he sat out last week because of his shoulder. He's full practice in full yesterday, so he should be good to play.
Yeah, full go.
But Hutchinson did get some snaps, obviously. With Mechie being out, his snap count jumped way up. So I think we probably see a mix of Mechie and Hutch, and obviously Robert Woods too.
We got to find out if Deontay is actually going to play. I don't know that Deontay is definitely not going to play.
I'm not touching Deontay. Even if he play, you really are interested in Deontay if he plays?
Yeah, because he's my cheat code guy, man. He's been my guy for years.
But what the last 4 weeks and.
No, he was terrible with the I never liked him with the Ravens. It was a terrible fit, but also, I don't know how long it takes to actually figure out an offense. So, like, sometimes a guy goes to a team and we need more information. Sometimes a guy goes to the team and they're like, oh, the verbiage is kind of the same, and he doesn't have to do that much, and he's ready to go. But wide receivers normally you'd think it would take a while for them to get in sync with, especially a route runner like Deontay. He's not just go deep, we'll throw it to you guy. He's a route runner, so maybe timing is important with this quarterback with a guy like that. Yeah, there's always some turd that scores out of nowhere, Ricky Gordon. That's just how these go. All right, back to the quarterbacks. So Lamar, Stroud, and then we've got Mahomes going up against Russell Wilson. It's at the Steelers. Steelers have a pretty good defense. Mahomes, I feel like, is heating up a little bit. How do you feel about this side of this game?
He looked much better. And look, I think the Steelers will be without Joey Porter as well. It looks like he's not going to play, which would be a huge boost for that Chiefs offense. So I think certainly playable. Mahomes is playable. It'll be interesting to see where ownership comes in. I think that'll impact my exposure, but no doubt he looked much better last week, threw the football, 40 plus times. And he ran one in. I think we talked about it last week. It seems like he kind of fakes these injuries or over exaggerates a lot of these injuries.
You have to never believe an injury. If you fall for that trap, that's a trap with Mahomes. You see him limping out there. He gets better when that happens.
So yes, he's absolutely playable. And again, Joey Porter likely not going to play, which is big time news for him and the Chiefs offense.
I was just thinking Mahomes, he reminds me of Hulk Hogan. You keep beating him down, The ankle's busted. He's limping around. All of a sudden, you try to kick him in the ankle. He looks up at you and he goes, "Nope." And next thing you know, another kick in the ankle doesn't even affect him. Again. Rips his shirt off. I'm sick of this shit. He basically is he's the Hulk Hogan of modern day NFL football. Mahomes.
He's so good. Yeah, he's played. Look, Lamar just threw for 3 touchdowns against the Steelers last week, and with no Joey Porter again. Patty Mahomes he's viable either way, but Joey Porter is going to be out.
Yeah, even better. So the biggest challenge with Mahomes is always like who is going to throw to, and they are adding players. It is impossible. Well, let's pull up the matchups here because actually I think this is super relevant for this game.
I don't know if we have the updated matchups.
Oh, is it even? We're so early in the content. Nothing's ready. Let me see if this is this week even. Nope. All right. No go.
Yeah, so we had Worthy at 80% snap count. We had Justin Watson at 50%. Juju at 36%. DeAndre at 49%. Hollywood Brown got 27% of the snaps.
It's a nightmare. He sucks to stack, by the way. I'll let you know when the Chiefs are in these 2-game slates, it makes them wildly more difficult.
Yeah.
It just does. It makes them wildly more difficult. Too many names, too many players. Hollywood. People are talking. No, Hopkins, not Watson, but like Watson could have been out there. Yeah, even Watson, they put him out there to block.
He's been out there half the snaps for the last several weeks.
I think it's gross.
Watson played 50% of the snaps. Yep.
All right, let's shift gear. Fuck this guy, man. And also, you got Kelce and Noah Gray. There's so many players. I don't think these guys can beat you, even if like maybe one of them. And then the other problem is at running back with the Chiefs. It's a three-way nightmare. Pull up the snap counts for the running backs last week. Even P. Ryan was out there.
Yeah,
it's like 30, 30, and 30.
Hunt said 40%, as Pacheco 35, and then P. Ryan 20.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
So yeah, I do think you probably want to stack Mahomes with one guy. I don't know you want to run him out naked necessarily, because one of these guys is going to score if he's in the nuts. But I wouldn't stack with two. We typically, traditionally we'd say stack with two, but there's so many guys out there catching passes.
Yeah, it ruins it.
You got to nail one.
Yeah.
Worthy led the team again with 11 targets last week. I think he's stepped up quite a bit. And then, believe it or not, Hollywood Brown had 8.
Hollywood Brown was very involved. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't ignore any of these guys.
And Kelce third. So I think these speedsters, Worthy, Hollywood, and then Kelce and Noah Gray, obviously, those would be the 4 guys I would focus on.
Dude, I'm not playing fucking Travis Kelce. I don't care if this guy brings Taylor Swift to the game and she's dancing around naked in the stands. I am not playing this guy. I'm sick of him. I'm over it. Until he shows me that he is not terrible, I can't take these 14. I feel that
on a spiritual level.
I can't take it anymore. He's ruining my life.
Yep.
He's ruining my mental stability. I'm becoming mentally unstable because of Travis Kelce. Like, he is single-handedly causing me. I need therapy from this guy.
The only thing that would break me all the way, though, is if I don't play him and then he breaks out for a big week this week.
Let me tell you a story. All right, sit back, grab the cocoa, and tell you a story. I'm not going to say names because I don't want to. Pfizer ruined him. He took so many COVID shots that he has no fucking muscle strength left.
All right, I'm here. I'm settled in for your story. Where are we going?
All right, settle in for the story. Many years ago, I was, how would I put this? I had a roommate in college. Okay. And one day, this girl, he starts dating this girl. He was the coolest guy, crazy dude, getting to fights all the time. Just like a wild man, be breaking into places, just like a nut. I was like, this guy's crazy. I love hanging out with him, right? Like, he just a really wild, crazy, like awesome frat guy kind of person. Think about like think about like an Animal House, like lunatic. And I was enjoying all of it. I love that. Like, he's crazy. Look at him. He's breaking into the science wing of the college. Like, what are you doing? You're going to get a microscope? Why are you doing that? But I didn't care. It was awesome. Right. And then one day he meets this girl and he starts dating her. And like, all of a sudden he went from like this cool wild man breaking into the science, pulling out a microscope, to like a dork. He's like, hey, you want to watch Star Wars? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Are we going out? What is happening to you? It transformed this person from like a wild maniac that I was just trying to keep up with. Like, that dude's crazy. I love hanging out with him, to like the most tame. I was like, what did this girl ruin you? What she a succubus? What happened there? And that's what happened to Travis Kelce. He was like the life of the party. I think it's the same thing.
So here's my question then. Did your friend ever recover?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No, it never, even when that girl was gone, it never recovered. I was like, who the fuck?
Oh, man.
This was like the wildest, craziest motherfucker I knew in college too. And like, I've never seen a transformation. And that's what happened with Travis Kelce. The Kelce brothers are crazy. His brother's still wacky. He's out there going nuts. Hook up Jason Kelce with Taylor's sister, and he's going to be like wearing a fucking bow tie. I don't know, wearing a fucking bow tie, sitting around like in a fancy restaurant with a sport coat. I don't know what the hell's going on. I think Travis Kelce should put on a fucking sport coat, slap on a bow tie, and just accept who he is now.
You're right. You're right so far. To me, the only thing that would completely send me off the deep end is if I fade him this week, which again, ownerships will be key here. If I fade him though, and he pops off for 2 touchdowns and 150 yards or something crazy.
Oh man, I hate him so much. Brandon says it's Keaton Mitchell, not Ali. I don't know.
Well, let's hope that the depth chart is wrong then, and that Keaton Mitchell is actually active on Christmas tomorrow. We'll see.
You want to hear? I'm going to tell you the final part of that story, and then we're going to move on. We're going to do this, but that girl actually came to our dorm room because she was looking for me.
Oh, geez.
She was looking for me, and he was there, and she's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for Kevin. Can I just hang out here and wait?" And that's how that relationship sparked. So technically, he took one for the team.
He fell on the grenade.
It could have been me. He took the grenade.
Well, maybe it was the shrapnel then. Maybe there's something deeper going on here.
All I know is that's what I'm telling you. That's why I still remain friends with him.
Okay.
After all these years, I'm like, you know what? I could have been you. Almost ruined me. Anyway, where were we?
Kelce
sucks. Mahomes is very difficult to stack.
Yeah, look, I'll say this too. Just one last thing. Hollywood Brown played 20 snaps and he had 11 targets. That's insanity. Okay. He was targeted on over half the snaps he played. So if he's only going to go up in snap count. And so he is going to be involved. I wrote him off last week, and you know what? He proved that I was a sucker. So I'm bought back in on Hollywood. No way around it.
Yeah, you can't not play a guy who's coming off 8 targets. So we'll play a little Hollywood. He's cheap. We'll get an overall feel for this. Definitely stack with one. What about Russell Wilson? Do I need to worry about Russell? It's a good defensive Chiefs team. He's got. Is he getting Pickens back?
Yes, Pickens is going to be back. Pickens is going to be back.
Full participant. So we will have Pickens here. But the Chiefs are really good against WR1s also.
They're good, but Pickens is better, man. Pickens can get it done.
I don't know about that.
Pickens can get it done.
This is a tough matchup for George Pickens. I think everybody's going to play him. I'm curious to the ownership. Let me say this before we've seen the ownership. If George Pickens is going to be somebody who's going to be like 70 or 65% owned, I am going to be underweight on that just because he's not a guy. This is a matchup situation. WR1 against the Chiefs has not been good this year. And in addition, I just don't think he's the kind of wide receiver that I want to go massively over the field. I'll go over the field on Nico Collins, or I'll just go crazy Nico. But I don't know about Pickens. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right about ownership. If he's going to be that chalky, 80%, probably going to go underweight on him. Yep.
At his price, he could wind up being like a 60 to 70%. I could be wrong. I don't know.
But then the question becomes also, who else are you going to play? You know, it gets sketchy after him.
Let me see if he has a prop. No. Oh, yeah, 13.7 on the prop.
He's too cheap. Still, I know the Chiefs are good.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me see what this looks like compared to the other props. So George Pickens' prop is 13.7. We don't have one for Zay Flowers yet.
Who might not play. He's not practicing.
Really?
Zay hasn't practiced this week.
That would be big also. There's a lot we don't know right now. This is
Harbaugh thinks he's going to play, but he hasn't practiced yet. So,
but he's got an ugly Q tag too, which means maybe diminished.
So I mean, look below him. Pickens, like it's a steep drop off in props. Like you almost have to play him.
Yeah, it's going to be tough actually to ignore this 13.7. I mean, you know, I like Nico even better. Look, Nico's prop is so much higher than his projection. Like Nico's going to be just fine, right?
I'll be all in on Nico.
Yeah, it's almost that's the one spot where you want to go heavy. I don't care who he looked good against or not. Last week, it does not matter. Nico Collins is the man, and he's been the man for a long time. So, you know what didn't look good? Stroud. That's what didn't look good. No, I like Nico. We all like Nico, to be very clear. Like Bobby just said, he's all in on Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins is like that play. He's going to be 75-80% owned.
I'll be 100%.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you going to do, right? You should probably play him.
one thing to note too about Pickens. Look, Russell Wilson gets it done in these types of games. He can get it done in these types of games. Like, people forget that Russ has been good against competitive teams. He's been there before. This is a big game for the Steelers. I just think, Russ can step up against in a bad matchup and feed the ball to Pickens here. So I'm not going to fade. I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Now, what about below? Let's talk about actual quarterbacks. We're getting to we take it in depth, but we'll get to quarterbacks. But like, of the actual quarterbacks in order, are you thinking pretty even exposure here? Do you want to go a little heavier on the favorites, fucking Shark Lab Burn style, load up a little more on Lamar and Mahomes, or just kind of even it out here with Stroud? I don't know how low owned he's going to be, but having not had a good game yet all year, but in his best matchup of the year, just about, or like, or Russ.
It's so owner dependent. I think Stroud will end up being my highest owned quarterback here, partly because I've been chasing him all season, and I just believe he can get it done.
Super easy to stack.
Super easy to stack. He'll be my highest exposure, and then from there, it really depends on where Lamar comes in at. The Texans have been really, really good against the run this season. Really stout.
By the way, that makes me like Lamar more, to be
exactly. So that makes me like Lamar more. It just depends on where ownership comes in at.
I think if you're making one lineup, starting with Lamar is probably the chalk way to start it.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, let's shift focus to the running back group, and they didn't make it easy because Kansas City's on here and Pittsburgh's on here. Two teams that kind of are now full splitting. So here, this is one of the big challenges of this slate, to my opinion. When I went through this, I was like, this is tough. So the most obvious running back play is Derrick Henry. He's been great. Awesome, right? Difference between him and Mixon is he's a favored running back. Backup is out. So should get maybe a couple of extra snaps, a couple extra snaps or whatever. The problem is, it's if you're going to play Lamar, how do you play Derrick Henry? Like, they don't really normally go together.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who else?
This is one where I would have been all over Justice Hill and Warren again, because you've got these rush defenses. All the rushing defenses on the slate are really, really good. Really good.
Yeah, I think you have to almost ignore it. I think Derrick Henry is somebody that's going to eat when his team is winning, regardless of like the defense capabilities on the other side of it. I think he's going to eat if his team is winning. Yeah,
I mean, Mixon looked horrible against the Chiefs.
Mixon looked tired. Late season Mixon, he's been great all year. And this is a tougher matchup. Baltimore run defense is very, very good. So, and they're the underdog. So if Mixon is going to be 70% like he was the other day, I think we got to go below that.
Agreed.
But these two guys they're going to suck you in. You got to understand, what's the field going to see? They're going to see Henry, Mixon, and they're going to see a bunch of backups. So technically, you just want to click these two. But I think that is not the winning. I think that is not the winning approach.
Okay, so tell me this then. In the chat too, I'd like to see it. You have to roster one. I think I know your answer. Henry or Mixon. You got to win a fantasy championship. Who are you rostering between those two guys?
Yeah, it's Henry.
Henry all day, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the favored quarterback every time. The favored running back every time, okay. Right? Mixon is a heavy underdog. That doesn't mean he's not going to smash in this game. It just means he's an underdog going up against a team that's better to throw against. It's just not clicking. With that being said, they'll probably both, to be clear, I think these guys are both going to be 70% owned on this slate, both of them, because every other option seems really sketchy. So let's talk about the sketchy ones. Can you even play Pacheco at this point with this amount of volume? I say no. I say he's
probably
unplayable.
I don't know. You could play any of those running backs.
I think Warren is playable.
No, I mean the Chiefs running backs.
Yeah,
Warren might be my favorite running back play on the slate.
Maybe Hunt. Hunt is just better right now.
Hunt will be the one to score a touchdown. It certainly seems like.
I mean, he got one last time. And
but
then,
yeah, it's Henry and Warren for me are the clear-cut top two guys.
Yeah, not Najee. Najee doesn't excel as an underdog. He excels as a favorite. It's not for him.
Against the Chiefs are very good.
Savage likes Henry Hunt. Henry Hunt is the name of a person. Henry Hunt is the way. Hunt will fail. Henry Hunt will fail. Oh, hey,
Let me ask you another question. Do you think Justice Hill being out benefits Henry in any way? Like, will we see Henry get some pass reps here?
Yes, I think it benefits him a little bit. Not like, oh my gosh, he's going to get all the touches, but a little bit like, hey, let's just keep him in there. I think actually Justice Hill was coming in there just to kind of spell Henry a lot. And so they'll be like, all right, I think Henry might get a few more touches than he normally might. With that being said, we also don't know who the true backup is, or who they will use between Ali and Mitchell. And it might be both of these guys, and it might be a waste of time also. And that's probably what it would be. You'll see some Ali snaps, some Mitchell snaps, and maybe
Ricard.
What's that?
Some Patrick Ricard mixed in there as well.
Yeah, a little Captain Ricard, a little bit of that going on. So it's not good, right? I don't really want a piece of this. What if you just started Henry and Najee and Warren and called it a day?
That's how most of my lineups will be built right there at the running back position.
It's not going to be an easy one. This is not. I like the 2-game slate where I can lock a position or two, lock button it. I'm not really seeing that here so far. Maybe we'll find something at the wide receiver group. Nico aside, I do like to lock button something, and I can't even lock button Derrick Henry because I really do think that Lamar and Henry have a hard time getting there together. They can, if 21 is getting there, which it might be.
If you're not paying up, both running back spots, you'll be able to do Lamar and Henry. That's not a huge lift.
Yeah,
that tells me they could get there.
John is right a lot, and he says Hunt over Warren.
I don't hate it. Hunt might be he'll probably be my 4th highest exposure at running back. But look, Hunt's been the guy that's getting the meaningful carries for the Chiefs, and no denying that, even with Pacheco back. So, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little bit of wide receiver here. And Nico stands out so far and away above everybody else, not just for his awesomeness, but the matchup itself is very, very good against Baltimore. There's just no reason other than the fact he's going to be 90% owned to not load up on this guy. But he's probably going to be, I'm telling you, Bobby, this might be the highest ownership we ever see on a player.
I mean, Jacobs was close last night. He was 89% owned by the field.
Should have been 100%.
I think it was my lineups that bumped it down to 89.
You got it. You know what, Bobby? That's what's great about you. That's why I say, what would Bobbywow do, by the way? I'm not knocking that. Dude, that's exactly how you should play DFS. Like, again, it's very clear. You need to be looking what the chalk is and then looking for any reason why you can avoid it. That should be the default mindset. Who's high owned? Why should I not play this? That should be your default.
It's tough when it was the right call but was wrong. No, because both backup running backs had a touchdown. If you would have told me that before the game, I would have said, "Oh my God, I'm not. See you, Jacobs. You're out of here." But
it was the right call in the sense that it was such a blowout that eventually, like, had he just not luck boxed into the early touchdown, then the whole slate blows up in everybody's face. That's why I'm saying, don't take a victory lap when you're right about something. Your call was right. Fading that was the right move in the sense of if you're trying to take this thing down and be in first place and have an easy trip to first place if that scenario happens. And by the way, there was a 15% he gets hurt early possibility that was unaccounted for. So I don't knock that at all. As a matter of fact, my first thought anytime I see chalk is, what can ruin this?
It's an injury for Nico. That's it.
Yeah. What could ruin this play with Nico is he's a wide receiver, and wide receiver chalk is always scary. It's never as reliable as running back chalk. It's always going to be dangerous, but he's probably getting there. with all the.
It's dangerous on a main slate, but it's not as dangerous on a slate where there's such a steep drop. Again, there's not that many options here.
Yeah.
You know,
that's part of why it's not like even a 17 from Nico might get you there at this price, or a 21. But you know what? I guess the reality is his past 2 games, he's got 3 games in his last 5 where it's not a lock button that you would have.
You need at least 3. You need at least 3 guys to outscore Nico, probably 4.
Yeah. That's another thing, and this is a good question, Motown, but we'll get a look at the tight end group, but almost every 2-game slate, the tight ends are going to be, double tight end is going to be super viable. All right, rolling our way down. So yeah, we got Pickens. He's propping out really well. So going to be interested in that. You know, Worthy, Hopkins, and Hollywood. Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood has the advantage to me. Look, you get 8 targets on 20 snaps.
Keep popping. Yeah. You're not going to feel comfortable with this. Rashad Bateman, if Flowers is limited at all, it should be Bateman picking up that slack. Who else, though?
Aguilar looks hurt, too. Aguilar is questionable.
Yeah. Isaiah Likely steps up in that spot. Likely becomes a wide receiver when guys get hurt on this team.
Yeah, you called it out, too, last week, and I think he scored a touchdown, right?
Yeah, he did, and yes, he did. We talked about it. I said Likely is your guy. When somebody's hurt, and even Aguilar was that, when somebody's hurt on the Ravens, and it was supposed to be, it's funny thing was, I thought Bateman, it was for Bateman who had the Q-Tech, but nonetheless, the play worked itself out. Bateman ended up playing, but I didn't swap out my Likely, and that was a good thing. But in this case, anybody hurt, the first person that should benefit is Likely. So I don't know who the other.
We'll see some Tylan Wallace. I think would be the most likely WR3 here.
Yeah, gross. Tylan Wallace, it's gross.
It's gross.
Yeah, can score the big touchdown, but
now I will say, if Flowers is out, you already have Justice Hill out. That definitely does hurt Lamar too. Those are important weapons for Lamar. Look, I know he can run the ball, but he's been a lot of his scoring has come from throwing the football lately. Which is crazy, right?
I say
5 touchdown games, 4 touchdowns.
No. He's Lamar. He has 10 different. He has tools to score. It just doesn't matter.
He's got the tools for sure.
Yeah, he's just got tools. If he needs to run it, he runs it. If you throw it, he's got 2 tight ends.
This is a top tier defense, though.
But there's 2 tight ends on this team. What Baltimore brings is unstoppable when it's working. Like, you just can't stop it. Lamar can run it. Derrick Henry's out there. Man.
He's so good. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look, listen, Baltimore's a real threat to go to the Super Bowl for the AFC. Like, it's them, it's the Chiefs and the Bills, and like somebody's going.
Yeah.
You want to predict which one right now? It's probably Mahomes, just because he's Mahomes. But like, any one of them can get there.
Yeah.
I like the Ravens to do it this year, but they've screwed. It's kind of
defense isn't good enough. That's the problem. Their defense is not.
I just think those other offenses aren't clicking that well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But all right. So we got Bateman. Going to be a really good play. He's priced as high as he ever gets. And note that Bateman, I'm almost only interested in him at this price if I truly believe that Zay Flowers is limited.
We keep saying that, but then Bateman just keeps getting it done.
He does it on luck. He luck boxes it. He can't keep doing
at this
it on
point.
We
can't keep calling it luck though. At this point, he just scores, man.
I'm just saying he luck boxes it like it's a touchdown every time that gets him there. It's not volume. It's like 2 receptions, one of which is a touchdown, and somehow he got a 20. Look at the returns. You see it. You see it. It's right there. A 3, 2 catches, 2 catches, 3 catches.
I know. And even to your point with the touchdown last week, he only put up 8 points.
Yeah, so, I think the price is too high for Bateman here. I think Bateman is a $4K, $3,800 player that has scored some touchdowns lately, and now we're thinking he's something that he's not. I don't think he's that. I'd rather play the tight ends, both of them on this team over Bateman.
But that might not even be the decision. The decision might be: is it Bateman or is it John Mechie? Is it Bateman or is it Calvin Austin? That might be the decision you have to make, and that is why Bateman we need to pay attention.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So there it is, right? So that's or Hollywood, right? So you got in this price, you got Bateman, Hollywood Brown,
Hollywood for me,
Calvin,
day, right?
Austin, who had a pretty good game without Pickens last week. Fine, right? Look the part. Looks like definitely the second best wide receiver on that team. Mechie's coming back. We like Mechie. I like him. I like the spot. Sure. Okay.
Schultz. Oh yeah, we'll get to it, but Schultz.
Yeah, we'll get to him. But and then I'll tell you who I can't get to. I think Mike Williams is played out. I think Van Jefferson is just a waste of time. Although, man, he came inches away from breaking the slate last week with that one reception. And yet it's always terrible.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll have to dabble in this range too much with Hollywood Brown there.
Yeah, hopefully not. As a matter of fact, I just would say, this range is pretty gross. Xavier Hutchinson being like the lone exception, I guess.
He could be. Who we talk about? Robert Woods. Where's he at? Is he up in 4K?
Trees. Can't even find him.
Is he in price?
Yeah, no, 3,800.
Jeebus.
Yeah, but you get some targets. I guess it's okay. There's no Juju revenge narrative that we're going to be dealing with right now. Juju is not going to get into the game at all. And no. Juju is he's having his Odell Beckham going to still be in the league for a little bit.
The Juju revenge game is going to turn out a lot like the Jamal Williams revenge game last night.
Yeah, it's not going to be anything. That's right. All right, so that's your wide receiver group. We got to kind of figure out who it is. Let's put a couple in this sort of lineup that we're slapping together here. So you got to get Nico in there. I'd say Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mechie, 4K guy.
See, that's why again it's so hard here. Well, let's spend up a tight end. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see where we're left.
We ain't spending on Kelce. I'm telling you right now, but
it's not even spending.
He's so cheap at this point. Kelce might be playable here. That's how crazy it is.
That's a decision now. Is Kelce or Bateman? Kelce, right? Kelce, absolutely.
Yeah, you play Kelce over Bateman all day. Fucking
Andrews is cheaper than Hollywood. It's a double tight end week again. God bless it. Schultz is a phenomenal play. I love Schultz this week.
This is definitely double tight end. Gray, likely, Freiermuth. I like all these guys. You know what? I'm calling it here, Bobby.
Double tight end.
Double tight end week.
Noah Gray. I wish we could play 3 tight ends this week. 4.
Can't. They don't let you. But yes, Noah Gray is, I think, better than Kelce at this point. More touchdowns.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, no, he's better than Kelce.
Okay, but let's be honest for 1 second here. If you need one player, you got a choice between Kelce and Gray to win you a championship. You are going with Travis Kelce.
Let's call it the season-long test, right? In the season-long test, yes, I'm still playing Kelce. I played him last week. He fucked me out of another championship. Thank you very much, Travis Kelce.
You're not going to need the salary, is what I'm saying. You'll be able to get up to Kelce.
He screwed. Yeah. Well, look at where we're at. I just played pretty much all the expensive guys, or most of them. Played at like kind of a high-level, high-end thing, and there's just plenty of money left. What about the defense? Is it the Chiefs? Ravens? Playing a road defense? And Gerald pulls out the name. By the way, Darnell Washington does get targets. I feel like that might be a showdown play. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Some of these guys just don't score enough. Like Washington, you're absolutely right. He's been involved. I think he caught a touchdown last week, but he just doesn't score.
No, it's been a while since he had one.
But even when he does score, he scores a 6 or a 7, right? Yeah. Like that touchdown week, he scored 7 points. That's not going to be enough.
Yeah, I'm not down with this. But 2,500, it's also not needed. But let's see here. What defense can we plug in as our placeholder? KC? Baltimore?
Well, based on this lineup, yeah, I would plug in KC.
700 left to spend. So I mean,
enough for Kelce, but
you get up to Schultz. I think Kelce. Like I don't even feel like it's helping.
Oh, give me Schultz, man. Give me Schultz all day.
Yeah, go to Dalton Schultz right there.
Oh man, that is juicy.
That's not bad. Lamar stacked with Andrews only,
which is fine, perfectly fine.
But with Derrick Henry, who I don't, that's not going to be a primary way I attack this. But yeah, Derrick Henry in there. Of course, you got Nico, and then a couple of pieces that are one-offs that you kind of hope will work out. So a lot of lineups are going to look. This is definitely, to me, a slate that it's going to be difficult to really narrow down a lot of these plays. There are turds all over the place on the Chiefs team. There are turd running backs running around all over the place. That's the hard part, really. The fact that the running back position is so sketchy.
Yeah, I agree. I think wide receiver is a little more straightforward. You can narrow the player pool down a wide receiver a little bit.
By the way, this lineup does not work like this. This should be, I have 3 pieces. Like if we were actually to do this lineup here, I'm just looking at it. You can't do it. You have to play Stroud in this one.
And then I'm going to Kelce for sure.
Ugh. But yeah, you got the 2,100 to spend, or I'd go to like
Mechie.
Actually, I might go to like Pickens here. Yeah, I would just like do that.
There you go.
Oh, I like it. Kind of like this.
I love it.
This I'm putting it in.
I love it.
This is a Stroud perfection lineup. The triple stack: Schultz, Mechie, Collins. Derrick Henry's in there because Lamar's given it all up to Derrick. But we have that bring back piece. We got the other bring back piece with Andrews. But again, Derrick Henry in here being mute the Lamar score a little bit. You got Jaylen Warren, underdog running back, pass catcher.
That lineup makes a crap ton of sense. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sold.
All right, YOLO. Okay. Done. You made a lineup right there. Did we forget to talk about any positions? We go through. Yeah, no, we covered it all, didn't we?
Yeah, we covered. I think always mention the defense. Number one, you probably want a mix of all 4 defenses. It's never smart to take a super big stand on a defense on a slate like this.
None of them stand out here at all.
So mix them all up, and then you always point out in the domination station, right? How to make sure the settings are set up appropriately with the allow players versus defense. That's an important note.
Yeah, I will do a live stream for this later for the DFS Army subscribers who have access to this tool. But just to show it. But if you're not there for that, you don't have to be. Everybody got a lot going on. You really want to just right here. You want to load at least 2, maybe 3 players versus defense, just to allow that. Defense should not dictate the players in your lineup this week. That is not how it should work. That's the only real thing. Of course, we're going to stack our quarterbacks and all that good stuff. But beyond that, it's really just that one rule. And I think you don't need anything else. I'm not even going to disallow quarterbacks with the running back. I'm going to let it happen. I don't think that like Lamar and Derrick Henry can't both get there together. I think it's less likely. I might do a little discount there on the simulation.
I'll be decreasing sim just maybe 6 or 7%, but that's it. Yeah, no rule.
Yeah, I'll decrease it a little bit, kind of decrease the likelihood that they go together. If you guys are running just 20 lineups, I always get this question, so I'm going to answer it now. And a reminder, if you're running just 20, you should really just choose one quarterback and YOLO it. There's no point in spreading it around. Just pick a guy. Take a fucking stand. And maybe don't pick the highest owned one. Well, I'm sure we'll have ownerships on this within a few hours and we'll know some of that. Oh, it's so festive in your house, Bobbywow.
You like the festiveness?
Yeah. What do you do Christmas Eve? When's the dinner?
Turd hat up there? See that? That's my star.
Oh, I love the turd hat up on the Christmas tree. I love it. That's so fun. Do you have more than one Christmas tree in your house? Is there another one somewhere?
There are.
How many Christmas trees do you have in your house right now?
More than you can count on both.
Get out of here. Is this normal, guys? Wait.
This is the one thing we go big for. It's Christmas, okay? It's a lot of little, smaller trees, but they're pretty much, every room of the house has a tree.
Every room in the house has a tree. You guys are so festive. This is like going to Martha Stewart's house.
I wish I could take you guys out. I'll take you out front of my house and show you the lights.
Oh, you got to take a picture and send it to me personal. Just DM. I just don't let anybody see where you live. They'll show up. But me, not the sickos on the internet, but me, you could send me the picture. I want to see the front. And so you have a tree in every room?
I mean, not but most rooms, yes.
Yeah.
They're smaller. They're not this is one of the bigger ones we have. So
I love it. So festive.
It's like, it's just the lights, man. The lights.
Your kids are gonna have the best day tomorrow, guys. For everybody who's making lineups for this as well.
Dixon.
What are they saying? Oh yeah, you don't want Dixon showing up at your house. That is the last thing you want.
Oh man, that's funny.
For everybody doing this, try to run your lineups tonight. So I mean, I don't need to give people life advice, but like, try to run your lineups for this thing tonight. Like, let's do it like tonight, and then after everybody's asleep, and then for tomorrow, be present with the family until the games start, and then we're watching games. Like, let's be real. But up until that, at least the morning, the Christmas presents, all that, you want to be present for the family.
Get lineups in and also plan your pivots. Okay, if you got Zay Flowers in your lineups, plan your pivots tonight.
Dixon, his cousin Eddie shows up with it.
Jitter's full.
Bobby, if a giant RV just pulls up in front of your house, just close the lights, lock the door. You know what? Don't open.
Arm the alarm.
Yeah, just set the alarm on. Everybody down. You ever see the Sebastian Maniscalco routine about like company? How like 20 years ago, if someone knocked on the door, everybody's so excited. Oh, company's here. Now, if there's a knock on your door, lights off, everybody down. Who the hell's knocking on our door?
Don't move. Don't peek. Get back.
Get down. What are you doing?
The kids are
yeah. So I think
stop being so loud.
I love it. Guys, again, reminder, a little bit of let's call it schedule notes. Tomorrow, Christmas Day, won't see too much. Thursday night, we've got another showdown slate.
The Bears,
let's go.
Spoiling the Seahawks.
I'm sure we'll be doing that breakdown Thursday at some point during the day. And then on Friday, we will have separate breakdowns for the 3-game Saturday slate and the full slate Sunday slate. Save your money. Do not spend it all on this 1-2-gamer. There's a lot of
make your money
tomorrow. Or make your money, but don't spend it all tomorrow. Let's save a little bit. Spent it all on the presents for the kids. Everybody from the Players Club just printed $1,000 bill 2 weeks ago and just loaded up on gifts for the children.
So good.
That's how you do it. 27 turned into $1,000 PlayStations. I don't know what the kids. My girls only want gift cards for fashion stores for clothing. They got to that age.
My boys are all about Roblox and Legos.
Yeah, see, they're little and they're still doing little kid stuff. You can still get them a present. My kids are like,
Roblox is a video game. It's kind of sketchy. I don't know.
I don't like the game itself, but it seems like a place where predators are. So like, just be careful about that game. That seems like where the predators go to find children. So I've seen, be careful. Oh, you know what you could buy for your kids?
A ticket.
No, a share of the S&P 500.
There you go.
That's a wonderful gift for your children. Let
me ask one more question for the chat and you. I want to hear your answer too.
Yeah.
Favorite holiday Christmas movie?
I think the chat nailed it. You got to love Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Home Alone.
Oh my God, Home Alone's so good. Home Alone 1 and 2 are great.
I feel like the old school ones are no longer relevant. Do you get all the way down to like A Christmas Story and even like the one I can't even remember what it was called, but like the one where
the cartoon
where the guy got the banker from the 1940s and they lose all their money at the bank. I can't even remember what it was called.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. Is that passe at this point? Like no one's watching it.
That's
people still watch that.
Our kids watch these. Our kids love Home Alone.
Home Alone, yes. I'm talking about like the black and white Christmas Story.
The black and white one.
Your eye out.
Christmas Story. Yes, they love that one too. I gotta say though, in terms of modern movies, Elf is one of the good ones.
Yeah, Elf is super popular.
It's so good, man. Will Ferrell's got his moments.
My favorite Christmas movie of all time is actually Die Hard.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I had to bring it up. I know it's a controversy. Oh, Scrooge. Yeah, Scrooged with Bill Murray. I saw that in the movie theater.
Polar Express, that's a great one. Yeah. Oh man, the new Grinch movies are with Jim Carrey. They're so good. Oh man, there's a lot of good stuff. It's just a good time to be alive.
But really, It's a Wonderful Life might have gone the way of like The Wizard of Oz, where it might be too old to watch. Like my kids wouldn't be able to handle.
My kids would never sit through it. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think this age that we are is the last group that is watching that shit. Like no one's watching that. It's too old. Too old.
Chris with the cranks. These are so. The DFS Army crew and what the chat is so
Friday
good,
after
man.
next for Mega Royal. Where'd you come?
Spot on.
I like that one.
Yes. Good stuff.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Listen, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. We appreciate your being with us throughout this football season. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, had some fun, had some laughs, and and had a great year playing DFS. But even if not, you had fun doing it, or you had a sweat doing it. And that's all that matters. So enjoy the family with enjoy the holiday with your families, everybody. We're going to be here as we always are, cranking away. So get back to the channel here Thursday, Friday. We got nonstop football going on this week. We appreciate every single one of you, and especially those of you that subscribe to DFS Army, because that's how we roll. So we appreciate that. And hopefully those of you who are part of the DFS Army props package are just using all of that free money that you've been printing the last year to make it the best Christmas ever for your kids. Good luck, everybody. We will see you on Thursday. Merry Christmas and helmets up.